What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Booze and the Dudes podcast. Let's talk a little bit about our sponsors. I'm not too sure if you know a little thing called a Lux bidet, but if you don't have one, do yourself a favor.
Wash your ass.
Wash your ass and remove yourself from my friends list. If you're on my friends list, delete yourself. Because if you don't have a clean ass from a Lux bidet, forget about it.
You know, what's crazy to me, even saying the word Lux, I feel like my ass is getting cleaner just saying it.
It kind of sounds like luxury.
Right?
Yeah, like luxury. Like
Lux.
yeah, absolutely.
Luxury, right? So I'm not saying Lux.
Yeah, that's great.
Bidet. I feel like my ass is cleaner just saying it.
Absolutely is. And also Swisser Sweets. Swisser Sweets is a great tobacco to smoke and, consult your
You're supposed to
doctor.
leave the tobacco in there? They're supposed to take it off and then put
Yeah, I
weed
mean,
there.
that happens too. But, like I said, if you have a little Swisser Sweet, it's only $1 something. And you can get yourself a little, little Blunsky.
I completely disagree because I don't smoke, so you can go to hell.
Well, if you were a smoker,
that's why you got COVID.
If you were a smoker,
That's
you would
why
love it.
mom. That's why mom named you Joe Dirt. Okay, that's why mama named you Joe Dirt, not Nuttermaker. Okay. Anyways, let's start the show.
The dream was broken, seemed that all was lost. Would you be the future? Could you pay the cost? Will there ever be a second time around?
Whoa, when it's over and the moment has come. Say, my Lord, I think I found someone.
That girl's hot.
And no one would be better to putting it together for the second time around.
You guys got soul.
Step by
Who's that guy?
fresh start over, different hand to play. Deeper we fall, the stronger we stay.
Hey, that's
We
me.
made it.
That's blonde me. That's Ric Flair me. That's me smoking a London. Swisser Sweet. And that's us, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. We are live. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? And we got some awesome guests for you on the Booze and the Dudes. And we do have a guest that agreed to be on the show willingly.
And it's a girl,
And it's a girl.
female.
And it is a girl, okay? So it is a girl. Her name is Katie Chonacas.
She's not a girl, she's a woman.
And that is a Greek. That is a Greek word.
Get your gyros ready.
Chonacas is Greek, if you didn't know that.
L'chaim.
Yeah, that's it. Let's show
Close enough.
let's show a little clip of what Katie does. Cue the clip.
Hey guys! I am so glad you guys came. Well, we ran into a little bit of a problem. My brother, he was supposed to pick up the keg, but he bailed on me.
Ah, that sucks.
Yeah, it totally sucks. So, we were wondering if maybe you guys could help us out.
Oh, you mean no? I don't.
No,
Jeez, I don't think that's such a good idea.
Yeah, listen, it's one thing at the bar, where we have control over you guys. It's like another thing.
Oh, come on, please, you guys have been so cool.
Yeah, we were just talking about how cool you guys were.
Really?
You were?
This would be the coolest thing that anyone's ever done for us. Ever.
You think you're okay material? From now on, you need to shut up and listen to me. Everybody shut up and get in line. Move it. Move it now. Go this way. Come on. Move it. Move it. Hurry up, you and your high heels. Oh, Mrs. Bubbles. Oh, ew, you're such a dork. Ew, you smell. Ew, gross. Ew, disgusting.
Wow, that was a great... See, she's done everything.
I know.
She was in Always Sunny. She was in CSI. You name it, she does it. And that's why I said, hey, listen, out of that list of the 100,000 that wanted to be on this show, I said, listen here. Katie's going to be on the show first.
And you know
Okay?
what?
Oh.
Yeah.
When you told that, I disagreed, and then Chuck slapped me.
He didn't.
Mort, I told you.
But I gotta say, I agree. I kind of agreed with you. I think we should have got the last man who helped build the Great Wall of China. But instead of him, I agree. She was a much better guest.
She had more qualifications.
Way more.
yeah.
Way more qualifications.
Way more.
So I said, hey, listen,
So fuck history.
the dude that built the China, I said, no, forget
Exactly.
about
Who
it.
cares?
Fuck
Who
him.
cares? I said, get Katie on the show. So
Yep.
without further ado, here it is, our interview with Katie Chonacas. So guys, we want to put your hands together. This is Katie Chonacas. She's an author, actress, podcaster, an entertainer. It's like Frederick the Entertainer. This is Katie the Entertainer. So, you know, I've listened to a few of the podcasts you're on.
Did you say
so
Cedric or
I'm
Frederick?
Oh, that's right. Did I say Cedric?
You said Frederick.
I said Frederick.
I was thinking of
well,
a
that's
white
that's his
comedian.
cousin. That's
He's
his
like, "I'm
cousin.
Frederick here."
He's more proper. You know, he has an English accent.
Joe Montaigne.
He's from Wales. So, what's going on, Katie?
Hey, happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me, guys. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. I'm excited for a fun conversation.
What were you thinking when you heard of the title "Booze and the Dudes"? What were you thinking kind of show this is?
A fun, interactive, like guys who like to drink and like talk about things that, you know, entertain them or something they can just like chill. It's like chill, just kind of like conversational. And I'm like, I'm ready to show up. I used to be a quote unquote, what they call like a town boy growing up, right? And I'm just like, I always had a lot of guy friends growing up. So I'm like, yeah, I'm open to it. I'm cool,
So,
you know?
well, you got it right.
Cool.
You're dead on.
Yeah.
Dead on.
We're,
That's
right
exactly what
we're
it
like the
is.
show Seinfeld, but we're drinking. There's no point to us. We
Oh,
just
yeah,
drink and
that-
talk about
that is
stuff.
a good one. Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, because like I said, we had a list of people that you know that we've got that we're trying to be on the show, but we seen the list and we're like, man, Katie does everything. You know, Katie's all around.
Yeah.
You know, jack of all trades. You wear a lot of hats. One of the things though that stuck out that they're big fans of is Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You were on that show, and I listened to a few of the shows that you're on, and it didn't come up that you know they weren't talking about Always Sunny. I mean, it was like I said, it was a variety of shows that you're on podcast wise that I listened to,
Yeah.
but they didn't bring up Always Sunny. And I was like, man, that's like their favorite. You know,
Yeah, we're like offended for you. We're like, how are you guys not going to mention that? Like, this is a really great show. Like,
because like I said, I know you've acted in a few of these shows and done a lot of stuff. How was it that came about?
Sure. In Hollywood, I had a very strong team, and my agency got me the audition with John Papsidaris' office, very Greek like me. And he was working with Wendy O'Brien at the time, casting director. She's amazing. I went out for The Runaways, you know, the Joan Jett movie.
Oh, nice.
Like a few years ago. She's, you know, I've read for her for multiple projects, and she was casting and she put me on tape, and they booked me right from the tape as a guest star for the role. And it was awesome. That's how it happened. I mean, I just went out for it. I did great work, and they liked my offbeat vibes and my character and my tone and my voice. A lot of times with comedy, it's the delivery, the pauses that are just naturally authentic, that kind of those in between moments that make someone funny, right? That offbeat character.
Yeah.
So they saw that within me. And then when I got to set, they're like, whoa, like, cause they're in the episode, there's like literally this like hot girl. I don't know the character name, but we worked together, and she was like this like hot girl with Glenn, I believe. And then my character was supposed to be like more nerdy. I was going out with this nerdy type. So the glasses I was actually wearing in there, I brought, and I'm like, oh, I could bring the glasses to make myself more nerdy. And then I was able to do it with my voice and put more of like that kind of a character on, instead of like just being just super hot. You know, I was like oozing with hotness, I guess. But yeah, they were really cool. They were like kind of like you guys are now. Like the synergy between the three of them was just like they were in the trailer, and how they were in the trailer, like hanging out the door, was the same of how they were being on set. You didn't know if we were like cutting or filming, because it didn't change. It was just very it was just very transparent
the energy and the way they were being. So it was such an honor to work with them. And people were like, oh, it was great. And I was on the first season, Charlie's Prom Date, and people were saying about it earlier on. They're like, oh, this is the new Seinfeld. And that was really cool to be like kind of a part of it, like something that was modern day that was going to be really epic for comedy and TV.
Yeah.
And it was. It really was.
It was groundbreaking originally, man. That was a great show.
Yeah.
Okay, so on that set though, you said they were feeding off their energy. Is there like a lot of improv in some of those like scenes? Because I would imagine like if you know yourselves that well and you guys are all doing comedy, that like because when we film stuff too, like we do a lot of improv too. And I know you have a YouTube show that you do improv. So was there like a more improv like going on that set, or how did that, what did you notice?
It was scripted. It was very scripted. However, they allowed room for ad libs and tags. So so that was really nice. When like this blonde who was next to me afterwards, when we were like, please, like get us the keg, because I was having this party because our family was out of town. She's like, yeah, it'd be like really cool. And then my line afterward, it was like, it would be like a button or a tag that was like an improv thing, but it was like in the scene of the moment that was grounded in truth, but just to enhance and kind of make it full of flavor. So they were very open to that, which was very exciting.
That's awesome.
Going to, I know, like I said, on the podcast that I did listen to, I know you're big time voiceover. And from what I've learned, it's like voiceovers are like the most fun thing to do. Cause like when I imagine your voice too, I was like, man, she would play like a great cartoon or, animation character. And I know you did some stuff in Minecraft and a couple other things. And you have some future projects coming up. So tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. My whole life, even before I got involved with animation, everyone's like cartoon Katie, like I'm a walking talking cartoon. So my brand and name is Cartoon Katie because for example, Bill Holmes, who is amazing, legend, they call him the VO doctor. So if you want a career in voiceover, you contact Bill Holmes, and through Skype he can just have a conversation with you and hear your voice. Oh, you would be good for promo. You'd be good for animation. You'd be good for commercials, narrations, e-learning. There's so many different kinds of VO that you can do nowadays. But it's like if you need your teeth cleaned, you go to a dentist. If you need your back adjusted, you go to a chiropractor. So if you want to work in voiceover, you go see Bill Holmes, who I was just with 30 minutes ago doing a spot for a commercial, right? That's due on Monday. But I like to get it in right when I get it, because the early bird gets the worm in this result, because they'll have so many submissions. Maybe they won't even get to the end of them. You just don't even know. Now that things are hybrid internationally, it really opened up the game for voiceover. But so I learned about
Toast of London.
What?
Have you seen the Toast of London?
No.
It's a show called Toast of London, and you're a voiceover. Oh my God, you would love it. You like comedy? Oh my God, it's your show totally.
I'm gonna go to my VO for okay. Toast of, is it on Netflix?
Is it on Netflix? Yes, it is.
Where do I see it? Netflix? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll marathon it right away. So
That's awesome.
I will. I'm a binger, so I'll like sit and watch them all. I watched Outer Banks. I'm switching gears right now, but I watched Outer Banks 2 seasons in 24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. It was like.
So is that coffee or is that bang energy?
It's bang energy. It's bang on energy. My gift from God's grace. But,
oh my God, that's crazy.
But the cool thing is it's the gold treasure. You get to go on a treasure hunt. So I like mysterious fun. And also they're like just in bathing suits all the time and like on the water. So you feel like you're on a vacation while you're watching it. It's just, it's so pleasing for the mind,
Wow.
But to circle, Outer Banks, you have to. But circling back around to voiceovers, I learned very young, to kind of brand myself. And since my voice is more of an animated voice, which I think really supported my vision or my actor role in It's Always Sunny with comedy, I think a voiceover and on screen go hand in hand, because people have told me along the way, what is the distinct quality for anyone who's a major movie star? Their voice. They have that distinctive voice. So I get a lot of calls for Scarlett Johansson, Emma Stone, a young Alicia Silverstone, Demi Moore, except that like Doc says, Bill Holmes says, I have the golden voice and voiceover. So that raspiness, he's like, kid, you don't have to do anything. Just say the words. But like a lot of times for commercials, they'll go with like a traditional voice, right? And my voice isn't a traditional, but a casting director's job is to give the client what they want. And then they throw in a couple spices of something like some flavors. And in case they're like, oh, let's take a risk and go this direction. I would be Sound and Fury. I did top casting director in LA, New York for commercials, like they're number one. And I did a private, and Tina told me my voice would be like that flavorful spice option that they would put in. It wouldn't be the 90% of like what the client might go for. And I understand that, but I'm cool with that because my long-term goal is a Netflix animation series, you know?
I think Disney. You're Disney written all over you. I think Wreck-It, you know, when he did Wreck-It Ralph, you know, he had the little girl that played by, what was her name?
Sarah Silverman.
Sarah Silverman. Yeah.
Oh,
I almost feel like that. Like you could be her best friend.
That was a cool movie.
That's a great
movie.
movie.
Her best friend. That'd be great.
Yeah, I know, right? That pays a lot, right?
Dude,
like
I would
the
love
Disney,
that
like
so
you get
much.
hooked up. Like obviously, you know, I think Disney pays out, right?
Oh, like on voiceover actors get more
doing
than
well.
on-screen actors. I remember hearing, I went to Shrek 2, the premiere, and I remember one of the producers telling me like Cameron Diaz got 10 million and she recorded Shrek in 8 days. And that was just like payout. I don't even think that was residuals and back end. But that was a long time ago. So,
Yeah,
but I
it's quite a while
remember hearing that.
It took us 2 days to dub over
Oh,
Shrek,
the first
one.
Oh yeah.
That was like one of our first things we did
Because
as
when
a
you
group.
when you got the DVD, or you got the it was a DVD,
Yeah, it
you
came
got a
with
little
it.
computer disc,
Yeah.
and you put it in there, and you got to do your own voiceovers.
Really?
So,
Like it came with a free program and
came with a
everything. It was
free
cool.
program.
Like, yeah.
You put it in, you know, it's probably like Windows Me or whatever it was back in the days. And you got to do voiceovers. It had its own program where you could do your own voiceovers.
Yeah, it even synced it up for you perfectly that way. If you were aligned off, it
Mhm.
would like fix it for you. It was cool.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
That
just
was
weird.
pretty advanced because
Yeah.
that was maybe a decade ago, if not more.
Exactly.
It was like
That was
2 years
pretty
ago.
advanced.
Yeah, we were in high
of
school
them.
then.
Yeah, it was like 18. Yeah, it was like when the first Shrek DVD came out, which is a long time ago.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love animations. It's so much fun because now, I mean, with the hybrid life, and I'm, I'm not 15, so like, life continues on. But God willing, if it's meant to be, and I'm supposed to have a family, like literally, I have a home studio, so I can do everything's remote now. So I can be in a studio in any major market if they want me in the studio, or I can do it from a home studio. And it's so much fun,
Yeah.
I love it.
I know
And-
you, because you were also mentioning too, like you have to have like really, they want like professional equipment,
Exactly.
real particular mic. Like how much does a mic cost that they would require? What's like the industry standard?
Yeah. So, a good quality mic. So, the one I'm on right now is a TLM 103. So it's a Neumann. It's a condenser mic. It's a full body mic, which is great because it picks up the full
nice.
sound for voiceover.
Mhm.
With podcasting, singing, promo for like promos, maybe a promo for Disney or a promo for Nickelodeon or a promo for a movie. A Shure SM7B is like a directional mic. So it's good for just picking up one-to-one right here. So I do that for certain things, but primarily with my voice to pick up the full body of it. I feel like you have to know your voice because maybe something's more bass heavy. So you have to like kind of test it out. But sometimes, a lot of times for video games, they'll say the standard is a TLM 103. But I recorded when I was first going, I recorded on a Rode NT1 condenser mic. And that was a mic that was like, $250, $300 or something like that. And I just put it into my Avid Fast Track Duo. I record out of the program called Twisted Wave. But yeah, with voiceovers, because, before we would go into our voiceover agencies and audition. And then even before the pandemic, I built a treated home studio because you save money on time and gas, blah, blah, blah. If you're just directing on Skype with like a voiceover coach, because you need to be directed because you can be all over the place, especially if you're coming up with the craft and the work. And like, there's so many elements going on. So I like to have a coach who's kind of like extra eyes and ears, especially when they're hired as directors for projects and they have the relationship. So they know with the casting directors, the producers, and what the client's looking for. So it's great to have a team like how you guys have your team. So I have my team with voiceovers when I do my auditions. I mean, today I had 11 alone, 11 voiceovers. Yeah. Just today. Yeah.
That's something else.
I think I had like 20 something this week.
I always say cheese instead of G's.
Yeah.
Cheese. Oh, I love that. Cheese. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing that.
I tried to apply one time to be Elmo's dad. Remember that when I did that?
Really?
And they kicked you out of the studio.
And they kicked me right out of the
I
studio.
remember that.
I was like, my sweet baby.
Yeah, and they're like, we're not looking for that.
No, I used to. Oh, now, baby. I see babies crying. Terrible. They said, get out of the studio, sir. I said, all right. But no, that didn't really happen. But
That's actually true.
actually, it's actually true though. But no, that's a lot of fun. I mean, like I said, being a voice actor, I mean, you know, I think I could do like some other voices, because there was like Howie Mandel. He was talking about he was like Bobby,
Bobby's World. Yeah.
and he was also Animal from Muppet Babies, and I didn't know that either, because he was using the same voice.
If you could peg us, if you could like if you were one of those managers, what would you say would be something I could do, voiceover wise?
Okay, I just want to be real with you. Like, I'm glad you asked.
Continue.
We're keeping it real.
So I'm just going to kind of pivot real quick, but
Sure.
if someone needs a young Leonardo DiCaprio, like you could definitely play his younger brother.
Wow.
Especially in what's he, Gilbert Grape.
Yeah.
Gilbert.
You saying I look retarded.
I love it,
Hey.
Gilbert.
I said sound.
More DiCaprio.
It's a Joe
That was a
Montana.
great film, actually.
That was a great
Great
film.
I don't know about that young, but him and then Reese Witherspoon on Man in the Moon in that film, and that they would play good boyfriend and girlfriend at that age range. Oh my God, that would have been a really cute movie. But yeah, a modern day now, Leonardo DiCaprio, if they need like his brother, his cousin, like someone who wants to mirror him. I know they have technology these days, so you can be here and like you can be the same person.
Okay,
But
Kay's getting 10% a year of your earnings.
I appreciate it. What do you think? What about Chuck here?
Oh shit!
wait a
you
minute.
know.
Gross, not net.
Oh,
10% from the gross.
Gross.
I thought you were
Oh,
describing him.
that's used to call me like gross. I was like, God damn it.
Wow. That's what I thought too.
Gross income.
I knew what she was talking about.
That was
Jesus.
great.
Okay.
That was great.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Anyways. So you mentioned you were on the red carpet.
Oh,
last
yeah.
night.
Mhm.
How'd that go? And what were you there for?
Yeah, post-COVID, how was that?
Oh
Good.
gosh, it felt so good to be back on the red carpet. I wore this beautiful navy silk dress. If you guys Google Getty Images and just type in my name, you'll see they put 4 photos up.
Ooh.
So
Get it, intern.
before I came yeah, I know, Joe Rogan, right? Can you pull that up,
Jamie,
intern?
can
And
you
then
pull that up?
can you guys pull that up?
That's why we.
Yeah. So, but don't post. You can show it here, like, because it's on the internet or whatever. But you can't actually. It's like a infringement rights where you can't actually take a photo and put it up. Like I can't take that photo and put it on my Instagram or anything. Like I even though it's a photo of me, because Albert Ortega is a great photographer who took the shots. I've known him for years. He's been shooting me on the red carpet, but he's the one that actually invited me to the event when I told him I was, in town. And so I wore this, like, I was like, I'm Greek. So I wore all these like Greek jewels, and I was at a Greek film festival, or not film festival. I was at a Greek festival with my dad before I came. So I wore this like Greek crown.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
There it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
Beautiful dress. That is awesome.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah. And then my sister got a new dog, a Maltese. His name's Stoa Homer, like stoicism. So
And the
he's
hair is
Greek.
awesome too. The hair with it.
You like my hair?
That's cool.
Oh, I did my own hair. I was wondering because I kind of just put product in it. I did my own makeup and hair. I was just like,
Oh no,
let's
that's
just
good.
really thank you. I was like, it's not professionally done. I was just like putting it on and going.
Mm-hmm.
But I invited my sister Anna to the event with me, and we brought Stoa, her new little baby. And so I brought him on the red carpet with me. Now he's a yacht baby. I took him to El Paseo in Beverly Hills. We did the red carpet. I mean, he was He was the star of the show last night. I felt like Paris Hilton yesterday. I'm like, finally.
Finally.
Yeah.
I love her. I love her.
Achievement unlocked.
Yeah. I love her. My birthday's 11/11. She loves the
I actually
number
like
11/11.
Paris Hilton too. She's
great.
It's a bad rep, but she seems cool.
People love her.
I don't have a problem with her.
I don't have a problem with her either.
No one has a problem with her.
Sorry, she's successful.
Yeah.
Not sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. We're a lot alike, actually. Her voice, actually, even though sometimes it's high, it's like she puts it on. Her voice actually has this like sexy, raspy thing when you're talking to her in person. I've only met her one time because she's friends with a lot of my friends, but I met her at New York Fashion Week one time at this supermodel's birthday party. She was like there, and she came with her sister and Derek Blasberg. But we're like, hey, what's up? And we met. It was cool. But
nice.
Do you go back and forth from like LA to New York?
Yeah. I'm bi-coastal. I have a condo in New York too.
Nice.
Makes sense.
So tell us a little bit about Katie Coco.
My sister still calls me. Yeah, my sister still calls me Coco. Like people still call me Coco. I'm obsessed with Chanel. So I went by like Katie Coco, like Coco Chanel. And it was when I was touring with 50 Cent and G Unit. I was going by Katie Coco. Is when Lady Gaga was starting to buzz. I got an opportunity to go on tour with 50 Cent and G Unit all around Europe and South Africa. They invited me to New Zealand and Australia. And I ended up booking a movie with Mila Jovovich, with Steve Zahn and the director David Toohey, A Perfect Getaway. Thank goodness, because those residuals were very nice. And I got to go to Puerto Rico and work with some amazing actors, comedians. Steve Zahn, he's great at comedy.
Yeah, Steve Zahn's pretty good.
Yeah. And so I was going by Katie Coco at the time and really killing it with like music. And it was kind of like, I don't know. They were kind of like there's EDM music, but it was kind of going in this direction, but I was kind of like getting pigeonholed. So
were you singing, Katie, or were you DJing?
Yeah. No, I was singing.
Oh, okay.
But on tour, opening up for 50 in G Unit.
Is a lot of your stuff like on Spotify too?
Yeah, everything.
Cool.
I created the brand The Sophisticated Psychos. So I don't go by Katie Coco anymore, but I created the brand The Sophisticated Psychos, which is not only music, but it became my production company. And, Nikki Scorpio, who's my co-creator of The Sophisticated Psychos, he does all the editing. He's a DP. We both shoot content. We're both talent. We have this award-winning improv lockdown web series that I created in March of 2020. And so we were over 27 official selections internationally. We won 18 so far, best comedy web series. And I won best director.
Talk to you about that.
Sure.
Got into a couple. So we do the Prestige Film Festival here. In California. Yeah, we just started it, and we had
just happened last month.
We just had it last month, and a couple of state officials and everyone was there. It was a big deal. So we heard that you did an improv series too, and submitted to a few film festivals. So I wanted to kind of talk to you about that. Did you?
Sure. Did we submit to yours?
I don't know. I don't think you did. There was a movie called Selfie though.
#selfie.
But it was just called Selfie.
Selfie's like 40 minutes, man.
And it was by another guy out of Riverside.
Yeah, Selfie was
created
really
it.
Oh, I did one.
You got selected.
Cool. I did one called #selfie at Coachella like 3-4 years ago. And then it's a short. And then it won some awards a few years ago. But then because there wasn't Coachella and we were in a pandemic and I had this footage, I thought it would be, why do we do things? We think it'll be funny, right? We just think it'll be funny. So I'm like, since there's no Cella and it's a thing, no Cella, I broke up the web series, the short film. I broke it up into 6 parts and I released it 3 weeks before Coachella, that would be Coachella, during, and then like a couple weeks afterwards. So I released a 6-part series during Coachella this year, since there wasn't a Coachella, just because I thought it would be funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, nice. Just to repurpose the content. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Give it another purpose. Some guy used to go to every Coachella, and then I know Coachella started falling off, and then he just like, I'm not gonna go anymore.
Yeah, a lot of people there. I work in that area.
They broke his heart.
You were in Desert Hot Springs too, right? Recently.
I was just there last weekend. I went.
Stalker, nice.
I'm house stalking you. No, I work in the area.
You have a
I work in the
GPS on
area.
her car.
Coachella, Desert Hot Springs. So I work in that area like Monday through
cool.
Friday.
You were recently at the
So.
76 gas station. How did that turn
You were
out?
recently at a gas station. You purchased a Twix candy bar.
Well, honestly, gluten free, non-GMO, just vegan Twix.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They should call me for the campaign. Let's do that.
Oh,
And then you get 10%, Chuck.
There you go. Gross.
Gross. Yeah.
Gross.
Gross. Actually, yeah. And a little secret is when I'm somewhere, I never post. Like last night, I don't post when I'm there. I only post when I leave
Yeah, makes sense.
for safety and protection. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I remember you kind of going over that on your first early episodes of your podcast, all over the place. We were talking about like, especially with modeling. That was one question I thought me and
How
Sassy
come
here.
you guys
would
have never
in
told
common.
me to do that? I'm going to
Do
start
what?
doing that for safety. I'm like, why do I do that? Why do I-
Yeah, but no, like you put out that like whenever you're going to go to meet up with an agent or anything, like you always let other people know where you were. You always text like the agency at the time and anybody that like you're giving out all these facts. And I love that you just keep giving out facts to not just that, but you do the photography thing, pretty much everything. You just kind of give away all the information. And I really like that you do that. And then that was the main thing that I had was being Greek. Does that make you kind of think that you're a modern day muse in a sense?
Yeah, totally. It's a responsibility. Kyriaki is my baptismal name. I'm named after my yaya, my dad's mother. And I actually had to I did a ceremony. Nikki, did this spiritual ceremony where you sit around a bonfire, you pick a place in the world. I did sand and a beach. And I brought in like my ancestors and I actually brought in Saint Kyriaki and her and, and we bring in people and then it's a sacred contract. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but you can rip up an old contract. Like if you all have a relationship together or with your mom or your dad or someone, and you're not pleased with like how the relationship is going, how you're being together in like the physical world now, it's like a sacred contract. I've only done it a couple of times, but I actually ripped up an old contract because she was a martyr, Saint Kyriaki. And I've been so strict in my ways in upholding the responsibilities of what my ego thought that my family wanted from me. Don't worry, we have natural sounds around here. It's all good. So a homer's in the house.
My mom just walked in and got attacked by dogs.
Yeah,
Hey, Mom.
we're not going to help her. That's what
Shout out to the moms. We love you.
Oh, yeah, all of them.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm very motherly in that way where it's like, I'm so grateful to be here and everything the universe has taught me thus far. And, my journey along the way, I wanted to start my podcast 8 years ago. I didn't know how to get on the train tracks, but for me, I'm not right or wrong. Like I'm not a scientist. I am who I am. And I can just only speak for my experiences. But when I was 12 and, I had that intuition and I wish someone was there, like leading me along the way. I always sought out mentors. Like I learned about mentors from my father. I said, I'm going to pay it forward. I'm always going to be that for other people. So with the early episodes of my podcast, it's the oak tree of everything I've dabbled, everything that I've learned to add value, to give it. Cause I have a lot of moms, speaking of the moms, kids, a lot of kids tune into my show who want to know certain things. And so here are some data hard facts of like, yes, no, blah, blah, blah. But then there's the hybrid and the pivot and the trajectory of like where things were, like where they are now, where they're going. So I want to be at added value for people in that area. That's why I started industry coaching to say, hey, if I can, help you cut out maybe 10 years, or if you're going to do something that's like outdated, I can add value and say, like stay off C and D and E, stick to B and A over here. Like, and it's just like, just help someone to guide them in the good direction because so many people are desperate and so many people don't know their self-worth and we're human beings. So we all have the same emotions and we feel guilt and shame. And we all have this like thrive and this passion for our dreams to become a reality. And then there's a specific distinction of someone preying on your dreams and someone saying, oh, if you do this, I'll do this. If you do this, I'll do that. So it's like, do not sell your dream for a hope and promise and a desperation of what someone else can offer you. Because truly what I've learned along the way is when you come in contact with someone, they won't persuade you to do something that you're not ethically wanting to do or be a part of if they want the best for you and they have good intentions for you. And if they don't, you don't want to create and work with those kind of people anyway. And I rather hear no, so I can have more of a longevity of yes.
See,
Well
exactly.
said.
That's what
Well
I mean.
said.
Yeah.
Well said.
Integrity, and it's important to have that.
Oh, beyond.
It really is.
I know, like I said, I know like you came out real like giving advice and more real like motherly. So I know that you sponsored like a few kids in the Philippines too, and that meant a lot to you.
Well, that's awesome.
So like, you tell us a little bit about that. I know, like I said, you explained it a little bit on another podcast, and that's where I heard it. But like, you know, tell our viewers basically you did like, I think this started like a long time ago that you just kind of, you know, gave a little bit of money per month. Like, you know, you see those commercials sometimes, and I'm thinking of those commercials are like a scam, like because some guy like the other day,
Sally Struthers.
well, the other day, like there was like these Holocaust survivors are living off of one potato a day. And
He's like, they're old.
And
Why
they're
are
old.
they
And there
still
was like
starving?
2 old ladies.
Why has no one helped them in all this
And I
time?
said, what? Well, how many Holocaust survivors could be left?
Yeah.
And then they were saying that she was sleeping on top of a stove to keep warm. I'm like, you're shooting this commercial. Help a lady out, right? If
Sell
she's
the
living on one
camera and get her a better heater.
So I mean, stuff to me like that would be a scam, but like I never went further into it. Obviously, we just seen that, you know, like South Park made fun of like an Ethiopian kid, like starving Marvin, and they got a free stopwatch. Like, how did you get into something like that, and how did you know it wasn't a scam?
Okay. Well, first of all, I don't know the potato commercial you guys are talking about. I haven't seen it, so I can't chime in there. But you know, props to you know, respect for the Holocaust and all the survivors that are still with us. Yeah, I was 17, and I was sitting in our library room, and there was a phone next to me, and it was like Children International, and I could help. And you kind of just have to use good judgment and go off of your intuition. And I was attuned and called to it. So I picked up the phone. They sent me a photo of Renalyn Error. I still sponsor her and her family to this day. Her 2 brothers helped them through college. Her mom, her dad, her grandparents, her grandpa just passed away a couple years ago. Since then, I've sponsored a few other kids from the program too, from Chile, Dominican Republic. I don't sponsor them anymore. But Renalyn, my very first one, she graduated. Renalyn, my very first one, she graduated from the program. We were pen pals, writing to each other, and she's in the Philippines. But because of Facebook, it's like the only reason why I have a Facebook is because of her. I can sensorially, viscerally see her photos, her family, and things, and I can like chat and like talk with her all the time. So I sponsored her through this whole entire time, and then she graduated from the program. So I just send her money on the Western Union through the app. It's like super easy, and then I'll send her packages. But even though I send it to the Philippines, it says it gets there in 2 weeks. She actually, because of the area she's in, she actually doesn't get it for 3 months, right? She's such in a rural area. But yeah, it was before, you know, everyone was adopting, or before, like people were probably still adopting before it became like a thing where it's like Sandra Bullock and like Angelina Jolie and everyone in Hollywood's adopting. But before everyone was adopting, before it became a thing. But I was, you know, before I even like understood or knew Hollywood or anything, I was just like a kid, and I was at home, and it was just attuned to me. Why? The reason why, it's because at the bottom of it, I'm all about the ripple effect. So what I do affects everyone. So if I could be anchored with an energetic being in the world that I've never met, and I had the power of yes to helping this person and enhance and improve their life, like it was so exciting for me to the curiosity to explore that, and you know, and in hopes and faith to go there and meet her one day. And so yeah, I hope to. But I've had two trips planned, and one because of, you know, why it got canceled. But I hope, you know, sooner than later. But I'm going to do a short film, and I asked her permission already. She says, yes, Miss Katie, because she calls me Miss Katie. She's like, is it okay if I call you mom? You're like a second mom to me. I'm like, yeah, yeah. She's great. And so actually the short documentary that I'm going to make is before I was 17, before I became a director and a producer or an actor, any of that. Before I even knew what a documentary was. And so I'm going to do a documentary. It's going to be called The Ripple Effect, and how the power of yes, helping someone that you've never even met, how it affects someone in the world.
let me ask you a question. Now, Dick Sassy, like I said, I told these guys to do a little bit of research.
Yes.
And Dick Sassy said that you might be a flat earther.
No comment.
Man.
I believe in all possibilities.
Well, I'm open to possibilities
do I.
too. That's why I want to kind of
said.
hear a good argument about it, because there's some people that like they say, Chuck, if you ran across this person, you believe in flat earth too. I'm like, dang, really?
I can't say that. See, that's my thing. Is like if someone has a good argument, I just want to hear it. But me, I'm open to all possibilities because if with God, if you do believe in a God, an omnipotent being, anything's possible. Anything. But I hear more often than not from atheists the reasons why God isn't like there, doesn't exist, and I'm like, but you're an atheist, correct? They go, yeah. And I'm like, so you're thinking about God from your finite perspective, and you admittedly do not believe in God, but yet you're going to tell me why God doesn't exist. They're like, yeah. So how appropriate would it be for me to tell someone who doesn't believe in, like, are you an atheist in love? They're like, no, I believe in love. I'm like, why? You can't see it, feel it, but you know it's there. You can feel it in a different way, right? So that's how I just explain God to people. It's like music. You hear it, but you can't just physically see it with your eyes, right? Like,
do you remember
people vibe to different things? You know?
Do you remember in the movie The Santa Claus how it's like,
the one with Goldberg?
No. The Tim Allen one where
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That was Slayer.
He's all Santa's real. Have you seen Santa? No. Have you seen $1 million? No. Just because you haven't seen it doesn't make it not real.
Yeah, I've never been to New York, but
I've seen $1 million in Vegas.
I'm pretty sure New York exists.
You got to go to New York. You have to go to New York. But yeah, it's energy. It's hope and faith. That's what keeps us going. Like that's why y'all are sitting here with me right now. Yeah. There's some passion. There's some hope and some faith of excitement, which brought you to the table every single time you show up because of that thing that you can't see, but it's a feeling. It flows. It excites you.
Well said.
Yeah. Do you have anything for Katie? SG?
It was more of just like the appreciation about how you give out all that info. And like it sounds like it's not even about you. You're just like, no, I just want everybody to prosper. Like, and then what else isn't what your metaphor in life is positivity?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, I read Success Through Positive Mental Attitude. I've read it a few times, and it's like anything that happens, the good, the bad, the ugly, you can go through, weather the storm, but there's always something, a lesson to be learned. Right. So there's a lot of frustration and irritation that comes up for me constantly. And I, ran from it for such a long time, and we still do. We're human, but then sometimes we can stop and make a new choice and lean in and grow through it. Right. And then overcome it by going through it, growing through it, and not letting it have such a power over you. When it's like an irritation that comes up, it's like, okay, here it is again, and kind of make it interpersonal, game with oneself. Right. And it's going to, and guess what? If you fail, there's going to be another opportunity 15 minutes later or 2 hours later. We're always going to have that opportunity. But what are those things? Things you don't see, but it's things that we feel, right? No. Good, the bad, the ugly. So, I just feel like I've always had a mission, to be a voice and to connect. And I've always known, like, had this deep knowing, like, it's such a gift that we're here as individuals. Just being here is such a gift. And there's infinite energy and abundance for everyone. And what's already been done is done. So there's a roadmap. Like I said, there's like a roadmap in the value of what I can offer you. And there's a roadmap for all of us of what success is. It's measured of what we want to accomplish, but it's not going to be the exact way Steve Jobs or Madonna or someone did it, because it was the 70s or 80s or 90s. We're in the 21st century. So that's the exciting thing of the unknown. And that's what life is, a discovery of the unknown. And like have a projected goal of who we are, where we want to go, but then leave that room for the unexpected pleasures. And then there's also the room for the unexpected things that aren't so pleasurable, but it's how we respond to it each time. And then we grow and learn from it and then keep on the path, because it might lead us to something more than our egos or our super ego minds tell us. It might be something even more. And I mean, having that curiosity of those kind of possibilities really keeps me going. Maybe I read too much Mark Twain when I was a kid.
No.
Well, just
Mark Twain never got out enough.
All right, Katie. Well, we've started a new segment here on the show, and it's called Dilemmas with the Dudes. and we're gonna read you a dilemma, and then we want to give you want to give the advice to.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
Love this.
So SG, got to read that off.
I'm hurt and I feel betrayed. My childhood friend and wife did me wrong, and I still don't know exactly what happened between them. Last night I did a small get together for my wife's 40th birthday. She had set up a Venmo code to get money gifts. Well, fast forward to Labor Day weekend, I noticed my wife had random payments on her Venmo for my best friend. I was confused at first, but then I saw some random $100 and $800 payments. When I asked my friend, he immediately apologized and said that I should hear it from my wife. When I asked my wife, she sat me down and played everything and said I was overreacting. I still don't know what's up, but I know there's something between them. My mind has been thinking the worst, and I don't know what to do. Do you think they're messing around with each other? Am I overreacting? Am I hurt and upset that they would do something like this? Like I said, he's a childhood friend and even the best man at my wedding. And him and my wife and I have been sweethearts and known each other since high school. So none of this makes sense. Hurt and upset.
Okay. I have a question. One thing, there's no blaming another individual. Anytime we blame ourselves or blame someone else, we're just stuck. So there's no blaming. Take blaming out of the equation. That's a child. No blaming other humans for anything. I understand the sentiment of the childhood best friend relationship and then his wife, but he apologized and said, talk to the wife. But you said that there was that surprise party that was going on. So is that what the money was from?
Yeah. So he sent him all that money, and over the weekend he realized that it added up to about $800. And then when he hit up his friend about it, his friend basically said, "Hey man, you go ahead and go ask your wife."
And then he asked the wife.
Yeah. And then the wife just said that she was overreacting.
You can't tell someone they're overreacting. That just makes someone overreact even more. So maybe she can just communicate and say, "Hey, honey, that's so sweet of you." Because obviously the surprise is already passed. So she can just communicate. Actually, that was from remember that surprise birthday party you had? That's what the money's from. If that's true, if that's what it was from. Was that what it was from?
Well, it's saying that like that guy in particular, the best friend, gave her X amount of dollars each time for these so many days, and that added up to $800.
Yeah, just kept on giving her money, like 100 here, 200 here. It added up to $800.
I don't know how much was the total for the birthday party or the surprise party.
Good question.
That's a good question.
Yeah, maybe he was making payments or something.
Yeah.
But I would.
Memos is making payments for that birthday party.
But
my wife.
But lastly, I'll have to say about that is if there's any trauma issues going on or insecurities or something, tune into Caroline Mice, MYSS, and tune into Gabor Mate and learn about trauma. You know, if it gets too deep rooted with those kind of things, understanding trauma and getting in touch with the mystic intuitive for self-realization and healing.
So
that's a big thing. You ever read by any chance Man's Eternal Quest? It's a very good book, but it's like that. It's about self-healing. It's a lot about what you just said. It's a matter of fact, but it was mistakenly my wife had been going up the mountain with Big Bucks here, his mom, and she randomly found this book called Man's Eternal Quest in a thrift store. But it was just bright yellow. It was one of the originals, but it was like really bright, stood out to her. She bought it, and it's affected positively a lot of people we know's lives. And we've lent it out to people time and time again, but it's only had a positive effect through self-realization. But the whole book basically is focusing on that. So it tries to help people realize if you talk about God, it doesn't have to be, my version and my interpretation of God.
Yeah.
Maybe I think God's a flying spaghetti monster. Maybe, Mort, our editor here, doesn't believe that. But maybe someone does believe in something different. But that's the good thing I think about this book is that it helps people realize, look, you can grow and it doesn't have to be my God. It just has to be a better version of you. Self-realization, things like that. It's a good book. Man's Eternal Quest. I highly,
recommend.
We'll do one more dilemma. One more dilemma if you have time, Katie.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm here all night. Just kidding. Go.
I'm here all night.
I'm here.
Grabs all right, read it. Go read it, SG.
I'm 28 and I was dating this guy that I thought was nice and normal. Every day after work, he would message me or massage my feet. I worked long shifts as a waitress. Then he confessed that he had a foot fetish. In my eyes, he wasn't rubbing my feet to be sweet or considerate, but for his own selfish reasons.
Yeah, you like that?
I immediately dumped him. It's been 3 months since I left him, and he's still begging me to take him back.
No, listen, I don't even want to be a boyfriend. Just when you're done with your shift,
just send me
just
pictures
let
of
me
your
know. Just let me know.
When we were together, we had been talking
She's
about
like,
marriage.
get away from me, you perv.
But it's over now. I don't want to be with somebody who has a fetish. How can I know if he wants me back or just my feet? I know you guys get crazy dilemmas, and I enjoy hearing and reading them, but I don't want to date a fetish freak. That's what you guys are called.
Thank you.
Am I overreacting to this foot fetish? Not into freaks.
What do you think about that?
Okay, I mean, I'm a parts model. I've been Jennifer Aniston's feet. I've been feet for a lot of people.
Oh, you're like the Zoolander character with the hand.
Yeah, exactly. Parts. Like
That's
those Emirate commercials. I'm like Jennifer Aniston's hands, legs, and feet. Ariana Grande's her perfume commercial. I'm like her hands and like legs and feet.
Wow,
Like in
that's
that
awesome.
taxi cab. Yeah. Rita Ora, Samsung.
She said,
like
she did the robot.
yeah. No, I mean, if it's a foot fetish, I personally have been getting massages since I was a kid because I grew up running cross country. I'd have meets twice a week, so I'd get massages, like full body massages twice a week. I love being touched. I love massages. So if a guy wants to rub my feet all day, like an hour on each foot, and I'm standing and it's reciprocal, like if you're into feet and it's my feet, if you're not like going massaging my next door neighbor's feet or my sister's or like someone else's feet, like massage my feet.
Foot pervert. So
A serial foot.
yeah, he's not a serial
pervert.
Foot, yeah,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. You're right. It's only her that he's like.
Yeah. If it's only me and like you're committed to my feet only, like massage me all day, whatever's going to get you off and you're going to massage my feet, massage my feet.
Healthy
I want my partner. It's one of my gifts. Like, I mean, to be able to like heal my partner through my hands, that's love. That's like
Win-win.
in the love language book, like one of the love languages, like food, words, through music, but one is like the touch, like the human people need to be touched. Like if you don't touch a baby, it'll die, like literally. So if my man wants to be rubbing on my feet and he's into feet, well, I have golden goddess, beautiful feet. So make it happen. And I'm not going to dump them and get with someone else. Because what if that person isn't into massaging my feet? And that's what I need to heal, to like be amazing. So I think she really missed out.
Yeah, especially because like she said, they talked about marriage. So obviously this is like a legit
What
relationship.
if she gets
and
the
now
guy
this
who's
is
just like
stop
into
it?
massaging only his gun? He's like, yeah. She's like, oh God, what did I do?
Yeah, right. But he pays the bill.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like that. I don't like guns. So.
You are a giver, Katie, and that was a good answer.
That was a great answer.
That was a great answer.
Which one?
That you say you gotta let him rub his feet.
Your answer.
Give him your
answer
feet.
was
Your
good.
answer to let him rub his feet.
Win-win.
Yeah,
Win-win.
exactly.
Right? Yeah, he's like,
exactly.
Some people just
It's like
never have
it's like
enough,
me.
you know?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I said some people just can't have enough. Like this lady's got it all going on. She's over here like, nah, I don't want this
I
freak.
was gonna say maybe she's just not grateful. Maybe she hasn't suffered in life, at all.
He obviously has insecurity issues.
Oh, big time.
Yeah. Maybe her uncle
But-
used to like rub her feet and she's like, look, I'm not into that. My uncle Trenchy did it. And
Pretty sure she would have said that early on.
Your Uncle Trenchy?
Trenchy. What a great name.
For example, if I was into fashion, which I am, I would love like going to the mall and like picking out outfits for my partner and like dressing him and like making him look hot. Or if I was a hairstylist or I like doing hair, I'd be like, let me cut your hair. Or, let me do this to your hair. It's just someone having a fetish or an obsession with what they're interested in. I think it's creative and cool, right? To be able to self-express. Like you want to be with someone who's going to like let you know what they're into, or else they're going to secretly go do it behind your back. And why not endow and do it with your partner and not give your best versions to other people?
You nailed it.
That's what relationships need, to be able to be more communicative of actually what gets us off and our desires and what we want, what makes us happy. And then find someone who can be reciprocal towards that energy to enhance, like, yo, babe, like you're into vegan ice cream. I'm going with you twice a week. I'm down for you. Like, it's cool. Even if I don't eat ice cream, like I want to go and watch you enjoy the ice cream.
Yep.
We're gonna read.
That's unconditional true love.
We're gonna read one more, okay? Because
Okay.
Katie's so good about answering these dilemmas.
You're killing it.
Are you
Wow.
killing it? Okay, so we're gonna read one more. We did read this the other day, but we didn't publish it, so we won't publish it.
Okay.
We'll only publish it with Katie. Okay, so go ahead and read this. It's a good one.
So I've been dating this guy for about a year. He's 40.
Can you do it with the voice though?
No, come on. Let him read it.
So I've been dating this guy for about a year. He's 40. I'm 35. I love spending time with him, and I love him. I love having sex with him. He's definitely a keeper. Here's my dilemma, and I don't know how to bring it up to him. His breath stinks, and his apartment is always a mess. I get disgusted by the way he lives, but the sex is amazing. I know all this can be fixed, but how do I bring this up without offending him? Should I bring it up? Disgusted in love.
And his name's DK Murphy.
Yeah, that's our producer.
Yeah,
I
talking
think
about our producer.
he's talking to our. I think that's about. Someone reached out from your side.
He suffers from halitosis.
Okay, all right, Katie. What do you think?
Well, here we go. Here's the honest truth. We're all gonna smell funky. You know what I mean? It could totally be a deal breaker because it's like bad breath for me is like number one. Like hygiene, it's the most important thing, like good hygiene. So this person can just be nurture in her mother lovingly way. And like, instead of like putting in his face all the time, maybe she can just order and just bring him mouthwashes, different toothpastes, and they can just show him love by like bringing different toothpaste and different mouthwashes and, like making sure
chew on this
yeah, maybe he has an
Yeah.
issue. But also there's something called, actually my sister Anna turned me on to misophonia, which is a real thing. And Tom Doiser is on my podcast episode. You can put in the show notes below if anyone relates to this, but maybe she has a thing. Maybe it's her has misophonia and it's this reaction and it's an intuitive hit where she can be very sensitive to smells, like a HSP, a highly sensitive person, or sensory processing disorder. But misophonia is separate, but it's kind of similar where maybe it's not him. Maybe she's just sensitive to his smell, So, and there's tools. There's like a free app through misophonia where you don't have to take a prescription pill or anything, but it could help her. So that's like two solutions for both of them. Maybe it's not just him. Maybe it's her who's sensitive to it. Is it only him or?
It's weird. She doesn't really
Sounds
mention
like it.
that, huh?
Like if this was the case of our producer Mort, it would be would be only him.
Plus, I think it's only him because how she mentions that like his
Has he-
house
but-
is dirty
but
too.
did-
She said
did,
he's a
did
mess.
she specify if he's had bad breath the whole time, or has it been a recent
None of these
thing?
people are-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Because I didn't.
if she was with him
I
a
didn't-
year, wouldn't she say something earlier?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Right.
what I
And
think, too.
and I did not specify, but the way that I am, I'm not as graceful as the thought I just gave. I'd be like, yo, your breath smells. Like, go brush your teeth.
Just pause.
I
push him
would
off.
be like, make a dentist appointment, get a deep cleaning. Maybe this person needs it. And I would be more blunt about it. Like
where
I
we
don't
going?
deal. Like hygiene is everything. So I need to be on my game. However, I'm like pretty hygienic because my mom taught me to be that way. I've actually been with someone who is more hygienic than me that made, and I know what it feels like to like, I felt dirty and I'm not dirty. But I felt dirty being around this person because they're so squeaky clean. It was it's uncomfortable.
So
So,
they're
I
like
know what it
OCD with
feels
it?
like. Even
Shoes
more.
clean.
Oh,
Even
really?
even more than OCD.
So like monk style, like monk status.
I don't know because I think monks like are not doing all that stuff.
Oh no, there's
I
a
think monks
show.
are pretty
There's a show
natural.
called.
Yeah,
Oh, he means
man.
Monk, the guy, the
The
TV show.
Oh,
The TV show Monk.
He's
yeah.
obsessed with cleanliness and
cleanliness.
orderliness, and it's like unless it's that way, he won't help with
I was thinking of Monk too. I was like,
Yeah.
what the hell are you talking about?
Talking about?
I'm old. That's not why they
Sounds
shave
like
their
a
heads.
control thing.
Are we on that one? dipshit?
Monks are not that clean.
Clean mind. Dirty
Yeah.
body.
Yeah. Up in the mountain in the caves.
Yeah.
Right?
They have all the best brands.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this shit? Get out of here, you
Well,
pig.
beat it. Anyways,
Yeah.
well, I hope this experience on our show, we appreciate you being on the show, but I hope it was different from a lot of other podcasts you've been on, because I know sometimes it gets repetitive of you talking about the same things. And I wanted to be a little bit different, but wanted to hit on the key topics. So we really do appreciate you being on the show, Katie, and taking a
Yeah,
Friday
I'm so
to be on the
grateful.
Boozing Dudes. Oh, Mort, do you have a question?
No, I don't have a question. I have a recommendation for her.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So she was talking about, God and how you perceive God and whatnot. I wanted to ask you first, have you ever heard of the band Neutral Milk Hotel?
Cool. Let me write it down one moment. Let me
The
go to
one
my
song that
music
pops up.
notes.
It's the only song that's good. Listen to that one.
They got some good songs, but
Who is it?
Neutral Milk Hotel.
It's a mouth.
New.
Yeah. They're like a
Cool.
Sounds like a cereal.
cult indie band.
Like a vegan cereal.
Sounds like a vegan cereal.
Yeah, Two-Headed Boy is probably like the biggest.
Oh yeah, that song.
I went vegan for 2 years, and let me tell you, I was weak after the second year.
Well, so not a lot of people I think have a favorite song. I do have a favorite song, and it's by them. It's called "In an Aeroplane Over the Sea." Not airplane, aeroplane.
Yeah. It's a good song.
And the reason I wanted to recommend it to you when we were talking about God, that song is about how of all the things God did create, could have created, and didn't create, He created us humans, and that's a beautiful thing.
What didn't God create?
Your dad.
Okay, you got me there.
Hey! Hey!
I thought you were going to say some mumbo jumbo, but all right, you got me.
All right, easy, Mort.
And I'm done.
Well, thanks for the recommendation. I'll definitely check it out. Thank you. And a music recommendation for you is listen to the Sophisticated Psychos. Oh, and you're the first to hear it here, boys. Dudes, 11/11, my birthday, I'm releasing an album, dubstep and future trap, for my birthday as a birthday gift. I just put it together 3 days ago. I just came up with it. I'm like, when am I going to release my next solo music projects? And I'm like, my birthday, 11/11. So feel free if you guys want to play it on you have my 1000% rights of approval. If you want to play any of the Sophisticated Psychos our music, play it on your podcast. If you need some music, intros, extros, whatever breaks, play our music. It's all good as a gift. One artist.
Really cool of you.
Well, not one artist to another. One artist to multiple artists. Artists to artists.
We
artists
have a
to
band.
artists.
Yeah,
we do have a band.
What is it?
It's not very good, but it's the Far-Fetched Farfignuggins.
We are constant work in progress.
And we did write a song called Redneck Tom.
It's more of an art project than it is a musical group.
Yeah.
Like, they just happen to write
It's
songs.
more of a comedy thing.
Yeah.
It's art.
Yeah.
It's art.
And
It's
we
like
wrote, we wrote Brandon's Arcade. It's a pretty good jam song.
Look at the quotations. It's art.
Yeah. It's Brandon's Arcade.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Come on.
But we appreciate you being on the show, and it is good times, and you are welcome to be on the show anytime you want. If you want to release your album and come on the show, talk to our people about that, you can do that. Or if you want to answer some more dilemmas, we'll get you on the show maybe in November, December, and you could come talk to us. All right. Well, we really appreciate it.
I'd like that. Be cool.
Yeah,
I would love that. Yeah, let's keep it real. Make it happen.
Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. All right. So give it up one more time for Katie, everybody. All right. Thank you so much. And this is all our links below. Click on her channel. And where can we find you, Katie?
Chonacas.com is my website. Sign up for my mailing list. And I have an automation set up. So it'll send you a body of my work of 10 years of spoken word music videos that I produce, that I rebranded and packaged during the pandemic. That goes hand in hand with my new poetry book called The Lover's Fairy Tale. That's available everywhere. Poetry, art on art on art. So, and then I'm on all the social media platforms. I'm on the Twitter, the Instagram, the Sophisticated Psychos. I have a TikTok called Chonacas. So yeah,
she's everywhere.
Oh yeah, duh. And then my podcast, she's all over the place. Tune in. We just had season 3 finale. Season 4 will be at the beginning of January 2022. And I'm doing a women empowerment series. I'm honoring all women's stories and having them on. So I'm excited about that.
That's awesome.
Very nice.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very, very nice of you. And like I said, if you want to be on the show in the future, we'd love to have you. But once again, thank you for being on the show. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right.
Keep healthy and safe and keep empowering and inspiring one another.